nonetheless disappointing. It called for the US and the UK to look for mutually beneficial opportunities that would create jobs and benefit customers. The UK is working with Washington to secure an exemption, Finance Minister Rachel Reeves said March 27. JLR, which imports all of its US sales, said in an email that it was waiting for more information before making any further statements. Ineos Grenadier, which builds all of its SUVs in France and exports to the US, criticized the EU for not negotiating an agreement with Trump. This is what happens when politicians sit on their hands, CEO Lynn Calder said in a release. As a growing EU-based automobile brand, we are vulnerable to tariffs, and we need our politicians to support our business, our jobs, and our economies. Bosch, the largest global auto supplier, said in a statement that it remained committed to the US market. We have confidence in the long-term potential of the North American market and are continuing to expand our business in the region, the statement said. European ministers called for retaliatory measures as well as negotiations. I deeply regret the US decision to impose tariffs on European automotive exports, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said in a statement. The EU will continue to seek negotiated solutions, while safeguarding its economic interests. The EU must now give a firm response to the tariffs. It must be clear that we will not back down in the face of the USA, German Economic Minister Robert Habeck said. French Finance Minister Eric Lombard called the tariff plan very bad news and said the only solution for now is for the EU to raise its own tariffs. Lombard said he hoped to start discussions soon with American counterparts to lower those tariffs, adding that a trade war would lead to nothing. Analysts at Bernstein, led by Stephen Reitman, described the tariffs as a chainsaw-like policy that has made equity and debt markets extremely nervous. Auto stocks fell broadly on March 27 on exchanges from Japan to Europe to the US, with Stellantis down by more than 5%. Porsche and BMW down by more than 4%, and Continental by more than 3%. The hit to earnings would be most severe at Stellantis, which could lose 5 percentage points of margin, but BMW and Mercedes could lose 2 and 2.2 percentage points, respectively. Volkswagen Group's impact is expected to be 1.4%. Bernstein added that it does not think the tariffs are likely to last, given the widespread damage they will do across industries and the inflationary aspect on the US economy. Jefferies described the tariffs as crude and simple in a note March 27, and calculated that Porsche would face a 10% hit to revenue, with BMW losing 2% and VW Group 1%. German automakers would face $3.5 billion in additional costs alone. It is difficult to imagine that a policy of such magnitude would not lead to a mix of retaliation and exemptions, Jefferies said. One automaker that is better placed to weather tariffs is Ferrari, analysts at Bernstein said in a separate note. We are hard-pressed to think of any customer cohort in the US that is better placed than Ferraris to absorb higher prices, the note said. In the unlikely event that Ferrari does not raise prices but absorbs the tariff cost itself, earnings could decline by 3.5 percentage points. Last year, EBIT was 29.5%. A 50% pass-through would hurt EBIT by 2 percentage points, Bernstein said. We do not think that even double-digit price increases will deter Ferrari collectors in the US, the note said. Ferrari said later on March 27 that the tariffs would not affect its financial targets for the year, but that it would consider raising prices a maximum of 10% on some models. Douglas A. Bolduc, Nick Gibbs and Reuters contributed to this report. Title: Elon Musk is one of the few winners from Trump auto tariffs. Content: As the fallout from President Donald Trump's tariff plan starts to be clear, a harsh truth is emerging for the automotive industry. Among the many losers, Elon Musk's Tesla stands out as a clear